until 5 a.m. this morning, and that's when that tornado watch expires too. They may hold on to the tornado watch a little bit longer, especially north of Charleston, but they're shaving off the tornado watch south of Charleston. So as the threat starts to pass off to the north, they're shaving off the tornado watch. So look at that. This is our infrared satellite imagery, and it picks up on that moisture. You can really see that drier air coming in on the backside. So we're getting that west southwesterly wind later today. Now, this is not a fall tropical storm where it moves through and we get that cool, crisp air. We're going to be warm. In fact, we're going to be warming up over the next several days, and even this afternoon if we see a little bit of sunshine. A breezy day, but a warm one. So we're getting that drier air, but it's not going to be cool. So tornado warning still in effect there. McClellanville down to Ondaw. Heavy rain now moving through downtown Charleston, down towards James Island, Johns Island. Some of these spots, this is the last round, so some of these spots are now starting to clear out. Hollywood, you're done. Even into Wabmala, you're done. No more impacts here in the way of severe weather. Goose Creek, you're finishing up right now. Hanahan looking a lot better. Somerville, the last of the showers are moving through, but you're done with the heavy rain. Things are improving there. Bono, you're getting the last of it right now. Cross, things are getting a lot better. Moncks Corner, it's been a rough overnight for you, but things are getting better there as well. Still holding on to that warning in Ondaw, although Ondaw not picking up the worst of it. It looks like right over Georgetown right now. Unfortunately, a more populated area picking up that tornado warning, so there could be a tornado in that area. You'll want to take cover if you're in Georgetown right now, right along, right through downtown. Really, it looks like we're seeing that potential of a tornado touching down. Any reports there, Dave, coming in from that area?
None from Wilmington or Charleston.
Yeah, so obviously the Weather Service offices are in some of these warned areas, which proves to be difficult, but we're getting warnings in from several different offices at this point. Georgetown, though, does look to be in that area of potential rotation. So right there in Georgetown, right along 17, moving north. All of these are moving due north. So we're seeing places like Plantersville perhaps up next. Andrews is in that warned area, but really just the east side of Andrews. And then up towards Pleasant Hill, you're going to want to keep an eye on this because it could be moving north there as well. Dunbar, Oatland, Choppy, Crib Crossroads, all of these areas potentially picking up on that next. So this storm capable of producing a tornado. A tornado has not been spotted visually, but it wouldn't be this time of day while it's still dark out. Look at that heavy rain right at the airport right now. Park Circle as well. Just getting pounded with that heavy rain. A lot of lightning closer to downtown. Over towards James Island, a lot of lightning there, but this is the last of it. Hold on for just a few more minutes and things are going to be getting better there. A lot of these areas clearing out now south and west of Charleston. So that's the last band right there. It'll be moving north here in the next few minutes and out of here. And you've made it through it if you are in some of those areas south of town. Still got a ways to go though. If you are in Georgetown County, where we are still under a tornado warning here this morning. So McClellanville is still in that warned area, but it doesn't. What?
3 minutes.
3 minutes left on the warning. We've had some long tornado warnings here this morning, but it's because of where they're coming from, where they're headed. They're all coming in off the water, and they're just moving along the land, inland areas. So just kind of moving. I mean, some of them we see move very quickly, but some of them not at all. Just kind of hanging over the same spot. So we're likely looking at just excessive rainfall totals here. The road's certainly going to be rough for quite a while. There is a lot of lightning out there too, even with that second line coming through that hasn't been severe producing. So if you are in some of those spots, you're going to want to stay inside for quite a while longer here until you're completely done. And then even so, stay inside for a little while because there's going to be damage out there. There could be power lines down. We could be looking at power outages for a while in some of these spots that have had not only the heavy rain, but also wind gusts that have been over 40, 45 miles per hour. So a little while longer here. Still going to be breezy once these pass, but we'll see these moving out here in the next few minutes and hopefully see that. They plan to expire that, I assume, Dave, at 5 a.m. for the warned area there in McClellanville.
Yeah, they canceled for Berkeley County there, but not yet for Charleston.
All right. So we are still seeing that Charleston County warning in place. Georgetown as well. Those warnings are in effect until 5 a.m. They may extend the Georgetown one a little bit farther to the north, places like Pleasant Hill. They may also extend a little bit farther to the east as some of these other cells are kind of moving on shore. But still have that warning here for portions of Charleston County, that small portion of Charleston County. I will certainly let you know when we are no longer in that warned area. Now notice all these areas shaded in the lighter red, that's the tornado watch. So that's kind of that overall broad tornadoes will be possible in the next several hours type of watch, whereas the brighter reds are the tornado warnings. Those are the immediate threats. So those are the spots where you should be in your safe room of your house taking cover immediately. So that includes Ondaw, McClellanville, although we're seeing that threat pass off to the north now. Andrews over to Georgetown. That's really where that warned cell is at this point. I'm going to throw the radar back up on there so you can see right where 51 meets 41 is where we're seeing that one particular cell there. So just north of Pleasant Grove, Lanes Creek, Dunbar. These are spots that are going to be dealing with this right now. You should be inside your safe room. Rose Hill, Reams, along 41, Hopewell. These are moving due north, so that's why you want to stay in that safe spot in your house there. But that warning should be expiring here shortly at 5 a.m. We'll keep an eye on our warning here, but we're still under that tornado watch for other areas. That includes southern Charleston County. They have now shaved off Beaufort County, no longer dealing with it. And there we go. We just saw that warning now popped off. So no longer any tornado warnings at this point. It looks like we are not in the clear, but rather you can come out of that room of your house you've been hiding in here for the past half hour, 45 minutes. McClellanville, you are in the clear. We're still looking at a pretty strong cell there, right around the Tri-County spot. But as we go through the next, I'd say, hour or so, we are going to see a huge improvement out there. So no longer any warnings. We are now under tornado watches, that last band coming through downtown Charleston right now. And so you can come out. I'm going to keep bringing you these weather updates as the morning goes on. Leah, do you have any new information? I mean, it's been a rough overnight out there. We've had lots of storm reports certainly coming in, and we're going to see more as the sun comes up certainly this morning. But things are going to be winding down here in the next hour or so.
That's definitely good news. We do have a lot of updates on roads, traffic, some damage, closures that people need to know about. As you've heard, Emily, make sure you go to our website and our Twitter account as well. We're updating all of this. The biggest takeaway from all of this is if you do not need to get on the road, it is strongly advised from our weather team as well as city and county officials that you don't. They're letting people know in Charleston for road closures. This is an update as of 4:39. There are 18 road closures in Charleston, and the reason is for emergency. There are other road closures around there as well, but that's for construction. But as of road closures from emergency as a result of what's going on with Elsa, that's 18. North Charleston, no road closures. City officials are saying that if you do see barricades, drive around them. We'll update you throughout the morning, like I said, about road closures, debris. We have crews on the ground, so let's get into all of this. This morning, we're tracking Elsa. The storm is making its way through the Lowcountry. This video shows damage in Port Royal overnight after a tornado warning was issued. You can see that tree is down and there is flooding. We were on the air with you overnight tracking those tornado warnings from Beaufort County to Charleston County. Trooper Bob shot this video for us earlier. Take a look at this. This is just in the last 20 minutes. That's a large branch in the roadway. This is what we're talking about the debris on Highway 174 near Clyburn Road. That is on the way to Ediston in the Adams Run area. Our storm tracker first alerted you around midnight. We now have full team coverage for you this morning. Trooper Bob is following the damage and the impacts on the roadways. But first, as you can see right there to the left of your screen, Amy Russo is out in the MEGGETT area. That's where the NWS reported there was a radar confirmed tornado overnight. Amy, what are you seeing and how are you doing?
Yeah, well, hey there. Good morning, Leah. So right now the rain has actually stopped for the most part. It stopped about 45 minutes ago. But go ahead and take a look at all of this debris just along the roadway. We're at Highway 165 near Ethel Post Office Road. You can see leaves, tree branches, everything kind of just inside the roadway. A quick Google search indicated that there are over 2,000 people in this area without power at this time. So we were just talking to the Charleston County Sheriff's Office, and they do say if you don't have to be on the roads right now, do not be on the roads. There's really no reason. The roads are wet right now. As you saw, again, debris is in the roadway. We're trying to make sure that everybody stays safe. But, you know, as far as wind goes out here, there's really not a lot of that. As we did say, rain stopped about 45 minutes ago. We were alerted that there is a tree up just down the road, or a tree down just up the road. And we'll be sure to give you an update on that in just a little bit. But for now, like I said, the rain has stopped. The wind is minimal. There is debris in the roadway, so stay out of the roads if you can. But for now, reporting live in MEGGETT, Amy Russo, ABC News 4.
Very glad to see you're surrounded by emergency personnel there too. Amy, thanks. And right now we're tracking power outages throughout the area. Take a look right here. These numbers have been increasing all morning and even in the last few minutes. Dominion says almost 22,000 customers are currently without power. Out of almost 775,000 customers, most of the outages are from Beaufort, Colleton County, both with almost 4,000 homes without power. There are also outages in Dorchester and Jasper counties. We'll update you on those numbers throughout the morning. Stay tuned in, locked right here on ABC News 4. Also, Berkeley Electric has reported more than 3,000 outages in Berkeley and Charleston counties. As you can see, it is more than 10% of its total customers. That's a lot of people in the dark right now. Nasty weather. This is nasty all night, all around. The Lowcountry, we have video showing around the area. Take a look right here. This is video from Dorchester County and right outside of our studio in Mount Pleasant. So speaking of nasty conditions, my goodness, it is a mess on the roads. You're going to have to drive very slow if you have to leave. With that, let's go to Trooper Bob right now. He's been surveying the conditions. Hey, Bob.
Yeah, good morning, Leah. Yeah, definitely if you don't have to be on the roadways, I would stay off of it. Right now, the rain eased up here in, I'm approaching Somerville. There's Interstate 26 westbound. I'm headed to Jedburgh, right around the 194 mile marker. There's a report of flooding on the interstate on the eastbound side, so I'm gonna go take a look at that. Earlier, I went out to Edisto on Highway 174 near Clyburn Lane, large tree branch across the roadway there. And I'm telling you, about an hour ago, out there in Edisto, it was raining so hard. And I've seen a lot of things in my career. It was raining so hard, it was like something out of the movies. You really couldn't even tell what lane you were in on the roadway because in these rural areas, it's so dark. I was glancing over at my GPS to figure out where exactly are the curves in the roadway coming up, what roadways are coming up. So where this storm is going, please, if you don't have to be on the roadway, don't, because you can't see some of the ponding in the roadways in some of these areas, especially on the interstate. I've run into, in the number one lane, the left lane, some of those, the medians were overrun with water and it was coming out to the interstate. So in these heavy torrential downpours, it's so dangerous to be out in the roadways. Stay off the roadways. That's what I would recommend.
You know, Bob, and that's true. We're not, I know some people at home may think we're being dramatic right now, but it really was bad. I mean, it took me an hour just to get to work, and it usually takes 20 minutes. Our lights are flickering in the studio right now. This storm not gone. I have a question for you. If people are out on the roads, you know, some people said they had on the radio, they were talking to loved ones to make sure that somebody knew where they were going. Do you recommend that, or do you recommend people just shut everything off and focus?
Well, you want to limit all your distractions. You don't want anything to distract you from the roadways. Like I said, it was so dark in these rural areas. You know, a lot of places in South Carolina don't have lights on the roadways, like, you know, in some other towns or when you get close to the city, yeah. But I was just about a mile south of Main Road and Savannah Highway, and everyone knows that area. But it was so dark, it's raining so hard, I couldn't even tell where I was. That's why I was relying on GPS to tell me what road was coming up next when I was headed out towards Edisto. But I did see some people also pull off on the side of the interstate with their hazard lights on, just sitting there waiting for this rain to get over with. And some people driving down the roadway with their hazard lights on. But again, if right now It's just starting to rain right here, just approaching Somerville. But if you don't have to be on the roadways, please don't, because it's going to start raining now, and then 10 minutes from now, you know, you won't have a drop of rain, and then you'll get another rain band. But again, it was bad out there, Leah, and I've seen a lot.
Same here. I didn't like it, not one bit. You know, one good thing that came out of this pandemic is we've all learned how to work from home. So if you have a job that allows that, today would be the day to apply what we did in 2020 to today and stay at home and get work done there. All right, overnight, each time a tornado warning was issued, our Storm Tracker weather app sent out a notification to keep you safe. It's especially important when a storm pops up while you are asleep. By the way, turn your phone alert on loud. It'll alert you to any danger. Just head over to your app store and search ABC News 4 Storm Tracker, then download the app and turn on the notifications right now, as we are not all the way clear out of this. So it's important you do this. Before the storm made its way here, officials say 10 people were hurt after a tornado touched down in Georgia. It touched down near Naval Submarine Base Kings Bay. That's north of Jacksonville, Florida. Those 10 people were taken from an RV park to the hospital. All of them, fortunately, are expected to recover.
All right, the last round of rain coming through Charleston right now. No longer any tornado warnings in effect, but we still have a tornado watch and we are still under tropical storm warnings. That rain, though, is set to end here soon. I'm going to be tracking the progress of it after it departs. Also have a look at the winds throughout the day. That's coming up after the break.
All right, and it's not just the Lowcountry feeling the impacts of Elsa. We'll check in with the Grand Strand, the Midlands, and see some of the aftermath in Florida. Also, right ahead.
Is this Colin? Okay, cool.
Now on Good Morning Charleston, we're working for you. with a storm tracker update.
The latest here on Elsa. It's been a rough overnight. That 5 a.m. update came in a short time ago. The winds, they've decreased a little, but it's still a tropical storm. Barely a tropical storm, but it has certainly had an impact here on Charleston. Overnight, those winds 40 miles per hour is moving to the northeast. It is about 90 miles away from Charleston right now and moving quickly as we go through the day today. So it is going to be moving out of the area. We'll see those temperatures here today get back into those mid-80s with perhaps even a little bit of sunshine. Here's where we're at right now, though. Take a look at that radar. It's that first band there that's been causing the headache here this morning. We've had numerous tornado warnings out there. Reports of tornadoes, some preliminary. Nothing concrete yet. We have to wait for the sun to come up for the Weather Service to survey some of that damage to determine whether or not there were tornadoes, and it could be kind of a toss-up. Tropical storm winds, they can be just as damaging as a weak tornado. So we're watching this last line kind of come through right now, and it's certainly bringing some heavy rain. But look at the damage reports, the storm reports that are coming out this morning. In fact, I'm going to step off so that I can give you some details on some of these storm reports right now. A lot of them are wind reports. But we have seen some damage reports, especially south of town from Edisto down to Beaufort. There have been numerous reports here. On Edisto Island, large trees were blocking Highway 174 at Steamboat Landing. They're saying likely it was a tornado. They saw the debris signature on the radar. That happened at 1 o'clock this morning. Another area that we've been watching, Port Royal, multiple trees down there. Preliminary reports say it could possibly be a tornado. Once again, they have to survey that damage. When these come through in the middle of the night, it can be quite hard to tell. We've had numerous wind gusts, though. 34-knot wind gust out on Folly Beach. Closer to downtown, we had some wind gusts of 42 knots. So quite a bit of wind out there as well. IOP, Dewey's Island picked up a wind gust of 40 knots. So tropical storm force wind gusts out there with this as it's coming through, and it's still happening. No longer under a tornado warning for Charleston County, but still under a tornado watch. All those areas shaded in red, which still includes those spots where we're no longer seeing the rain. So once that last band, which is right here, once that moves through, I think we're going to see that tornado watch be lifted, but it is going to go lifted one county at a time, so it needs to move completely out of Charleston County. We still have tropical storm warnings in place. The winds are going to be ongoing here for a little bit longer than the rain. So that rain's still falling, though. It's quite heavy in some of those areas in Charleston County. Look at that. It's been two bands here. The first severe, the second one just a dousing of rain, and then on the backside, very quiet. Let's take a look in the future, see where this thing is headed and how the rest of our day is looking. Not bad. Once you're done with the rain, that heavy rain here in the next hour or so, we're going to be clearing out a little bit more as far as the rain is concerned. Some spotty showers and still some clouds and breezy conditions, but no longer the dangerous conditions that we had overnight. So Elsa shooting off to the north and east pretty quickly, certainly causing some impact though as it goes, potentially still as a tropical storm even later today or tonight. For us though, drying out tomorrow. We're going to be mostly dry through the morning and then back to typical summer-like thunderstorms by tomorrow afternoon and evening. Now let's talk winds for a second here because they've been quite strong. We've certainly had some wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. The sustained winds can hold on to that strength here. This is 8 a.m. still about 20-25 miles per hour. By lunchtime, I'll say still breezy out there. They're starting to come down though, and then later this afternoon. So the rain departs first, the winds hang on for a little while longer, but they'll bring in some drier air. So improvement to come here pretty quickly as we go through the next few hours. I'll have a look ahead at that weekend forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Em. And Tropical Storm Elsa making its way up the coast, and it wasn't just the Lowcountry impacted by severe weather up in Garden City Beach. Liz Cooper from our sister station joins us right now. Hey, Liz, first of all, how are you doing? Is it safe out there?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, the wind up here in Garden City is starting to pack a little bit of a punch here within the last half hour, 45 minutes. We're here on Atlantic Avenue, Garden City, and you can see the lights kind of starting to shake here within the last 45 minutes to an hour, and that wind really picking up. We're also seeing, you just saw a small flash of lightning, a little bit of rumbling of thunder here within the last 20 30 minutes as well here in Garden City. And we're keeping an eye also on the surf and that rough rip currents we're going to expect to see along the coast throughout the day today and into tomorrow here as well. Anybody familiar with the Garden City area? We also usually have issues of coastal flooding here, so that's on our radar, as well as impacts from Elsa in the next few hours. High tide not expected to come in until 7 o'clock this morning, so as the brunt of that storm moves through here in Garden City area, that's something we're going to keep an eye out for as well. But really the rain, just some minor rain, but really the sideways rain we're dealing with because of all of that wind. And I'd really say the main impacts we're seeing in the Garden City area is really the brunt of those winds and those sustained wind gusts we're seeing here in Garden City this morning.
Liz, thank you. I could barely hear what you were saying, but I did hear you say something about a surge, rip currents, and it's still very windy. And we got the visuals. We'll try to get back with her shortly so we can get her audio, but you could see what conditions were like at the least. All right, now we're going to head over to downtown Columbia to check in with our sister station there. Samantha McCullum joins us now to survey the damage caused by Elsa in our state's capital. Hi, Samantha.
Good morning. Yeah, so in downtown Columbia, we are seeing a good amount of rain. We've seen only about 1/4 of an inch, but we have had some areas throughout the entire Midlands that are seeing closer to 3/4 of an inch. And maybe, as you guys know, we do have some areas that are very prominent of flooding, so we did want to bring like a local view. If you do have plans to come towards the Midlands today, just be very careful of pooling water on roadways. We do see some very flooded roadways throughout the Midlands sometimes. So just wanted to give a local perspective. It has been raining kind of non-stop since I've set up here, wind gusts here and there, and then we actually did, I heard some sirens just a little bit ago. So if you don't have to get on the roads, I did hear you guys mention if you are still able to work from home, today is definitely the day to stay indoors, but we should be clearing up by the end of the day. I think you guys over there have had more tornado watches and warnings. Our tornado watch did just clear up at 5 a.m., so that storm is headed y'all's way, so just be very careful throughout the rest of the morning. Reporting from downtown Columbia, I'm meteorologist Samantha McCullum.
All right, Samantha, thank you so much. Yeah, we're still going through it here. Lights shutting on and off, just to give you a heads up. We'll stay on the air and update you as we can. And before Elsa swept into the Lowcountry, the storm turned deadly in Florida. It topped a tree in Jacksonville, which landed on 2 cars, killing 1 person. ABC's Andrew Dimbert shows us some of the aftermath.
Overnight, Elsa turning deadly in Florida. Police say a falling tree killed a driver as heavy rain and wind hit the city.
This poor gentleman was just driving, probably heading home, and the tree came down and hit his car.
Another large tree slamming into an apartment building. This man was looking out his window when the winds picked up.
All of a sudden, I see my chairs pick up and start going to the right. And then all of a sudden, they went to the left. About 5 seconds later, then everything started going to the left. And the next thing I knew, the tree came down. I heard a train, which they say you always hear a train. I heard the train.
Hours later, Elsa producing another tornado in southeast Georgia, this one touching down at a campground on a naval base.
It is utter chaos over here right now.
The winds flipping over and tearing apart large RVs.
Pickup trucks flipped over, debris everywhere, trailers knocked over.
At least 10 people from the campsite were taken to the hospital. According to the Navy, there appears to be damage to buildings on the base, but a spokesperson confirms there's no damage to the submarines stored at the base. Meanwhile, the cleanup is already underway along Florida's west coast, where Elsa made landfall Wednesday, bringing powerful storm surge and inundating coastal roads. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
All right, well, coming up right after the break, Trooper Bob will give us another look at the storm's impacts on the roads here in the Lowcountry. We'll be right back.
You're watching Good Morning Charleston. Here's what's happening right now.
Hey, good morning. I'm Leah Uko. Here are the top stories on Good Morning Charleston. Lowcountry school districts have delayed today's classes. Here's the current rundown. Charleston County School District is operating on a 2-hour delay. This applies to summer enrichment programs along with CCSD offices and staff. School buses will run 2 hours later than normal, and summer feeding programs will start at 11:30. BCSD will operate on a 2-hour delay. Summer programs and daycare programs will start at 10. Summer feeding sites will operate from 12 to 2, and DD2 will be on a 2-hour delay. Lunch service will be provided, but again, no breakfast. All right, before the storm made its way here, officials say 10 people were hurt after a tornado touched down in Georgia. It touched down near Naval Submarine Base Kings Bay. That's north of Jacksonville, Florida. Those 10 people were taken from an RV park to the hospital. All of them are expected to recover. Well, this Saturday, DHEC and Divine Health Education are going to host a COVID-19 vaccination clinic. The Pfizer vaccine will be administered at the Cross Community Center on Old Highway 6. Anyone 12 and older can get the Pfizer shot. Walk-ins are welcome. That clinic runs from 10 to 2 p.m. And state officials warn South Carolinians about drowning. The storm may not seem like a threat, but no one ever wants to be caught treading water. In the month of June alone, there were 5 drownings across the state. Officials also say to avoid being alone in the water. If you're ever in a situation where you see someone struggling, try to pull them in first or throw them afloat. All right, weather is the big story today. Let's send it over to meteorologist Emily Gracie.
All right, well, Elsa's departing South Carolina today. We're going to hang on to a few showers and breezy conditions, at least into the middle of the afternoon. After that, though, drying out a bit more. Some Friday, some storms returning, but typical summer-like weather out there. Elsa moving out of the state here today, taking all of that rain with it. Brought us quite a dousing, though, out there. 87 for our high temperature today. The breeze hangs on. Could be quite gusty at times, but starting to diminish through the afternoon. Tonight we'll drop down into the mid-70s, a warm, humid overnight. Maybe a stray shower, but no longer from Elsa. Now tomorrow we are going to get a chance of some thunderstorms in the afternoon or evening. A little bit drier going into the weekend. Warm, humid with a good amount of sunshine and a small storm chance next week.
All right, right now, Trooper Bob is out on the roads. He's tracking the impacts of these overnight storms. Bob, what are you seeing right now?
Well, I've got some good news for you. Here's a live look at Interstate 26 eastbound at the 194, right around the Jedburgh exit. There was a report of flooding across the roadway here earlier. It's not there now. I'm not sure if it was during that torrential downpour we had about 30-40 minutes ago, but the interstate looks good right here on the eastbound side and the westbound side. We do have a report of flooding up there in Moncks Corner on Highway 52 at Dennis Rembert Boulevard. We have a crash on Highway 61 near Middleton Gardens, and a tree down in Colleton County on Jacksonboro Highway and Charleston Highway right there at that intersection. So again, still be careful. We got some light rain now. The rain finally eased up, but it is still raining. So make sure your headlights are on, your wipers are on. But I definitely wouldn't recommend being on the roadways right now if you don't have to, because we still want to go out there and ride around and let law enforcement check these roadways, make sure that there are no power lines down, no trees down, and make sure it's safe for everyone to travel on.
All right, a brand new tornado warning to tell you about right now. It has been issued for portions of Georgetown and Horry County. Once again, right along the coastline, these cells moving in off the water. That tornado warning in effect right now, and it was just issued just a few seconds ago. That includes portions of Georgetown and Horry County. It goes until 6 a.m. this morning. Of course, the rest of the area is still under that tornado watch at this point until 9 a.m. Looks like they've held on to the tornado watch here in the Charleston area as well, at least for the time being. So I do want to pull up the radar here and show you exactly what this is. It is a cell that's been moving in from the water. That's been the case here with all of these this morning, and it's right in that Georgetown area, north of Georgetown at this point. I am going to pull up the stats on this so we can talk about exactly where it is headed right now. A tornado warning, like I said, it's not in the Charleston area. Charleston's getting the heavy rain right now. but we are getting that tornado warning now for portions of Georgetown and Horry County. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see exactly. Pawleys Island, it looks like, is a spot we're watching here. And a little bit farther to the north, right on that Horry County line, Murrells Inlet, under a tornado warning if you're in Murrells Inlet, even up into Myrtle Beach area. These are all moving to the north. So tornado warning has been issued there for portions of Georgetown and Horry County, and that goes until 6 a.m. this morning. That is just another one of those cells that has moved onshore there and has been, it's been an issue, one right after another there. A tornado warning was issued just a few minutes ago at 5:25. It's for eastern Georgetown County and south central Horry County. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Located in that area, Desbordes Colony moving north at 50 miles per hour. This is a fast moving one. Areas in the path of the storm, Litchfield Beach. If you are in Litchfield Beach, in about 5 minutes, this possible tornado will be over Litchfield Beach. These are areas with a lot of tourists, a lot of tourist destinations. If your phone is going off and you're in Litchfield Beach, Murrells Inlet, Garden City, where we just got a live report from, around 5:45 this morning, we could be looking at a tornado passing over those areas. Burgess, Surfside Beach around 5:50, Socastee around 5:55. Other locations in that tornadic thunderstorm do include Waccamaw Community Hospital. So that's not easy to hear, but a possible tornado. This has been ongoing all morning with this one particular line. In fact, I want to zoom out. This is the same line, and it's been producing these tornadic thunderstorms. And as the sun comes up, we'll determine whether or not all of these tornado warnings have been verifying. But this has been an ongoing issue here for several hours, since about 11 o'clock last night, with this particular line as it moved into the state. So right there in that area of Georgetown, right along the Horry County line, those beaches, Pawleys Island, Garden City, Murrells Inlet, Plantersville, all in this tornado warning right now, and that goes until 6 o'clock this morning. We are going to see the potential of a tornado touching down. We've seen this over and over again this morning, and we saw it just in McClellanville a short time ago. So now it is time to take cover if you're in Georgetown County, and it'll be moving into Horry County soon. All of these moving pretty much due north. This is trucking along very quickly. I do want to show you a zoomed in view of here where that small warning is. It's just a little sliver of the coastline here. Unfortunately, though, lots of houses, very gusty winds. Even if you don't get a tornado, we're talking about very gusty winds here. Garden City, Murrells Inlet. We're going to see it move on shore there, as you heard, near Waccamaw Community Hospital. Pawleys Island certainly at risk there in that warned area. Let's take a look at the radar right now. Those spots moving north at about 50 miles per hour. So trucking right along 17 there. Stay indoors. Stay in an interior room of your house without windows. Turn up your TV so you can listen. We will give you the all clear when it's safe to come out if you're in that area. So portions of Georgetown County. Now the Weather Service used to issue these warnings, and they would issue it for the whole county. But now they do these smaller warning boxes that really pinpoint exactly where the threat is. So you can see exactly where that threat is. It's the darker shaded red. You probably heard your phone go off. It's possible that happened. If you did, you are in the warned area. So you're in one of those spots. Cairns, Pawleys Island, Georgieville, Murrells Inlet, Waverly Mills, Garden City, Platte Spring. These are all spots in that warned area, and then a little bit farther inland as well. Mount Rena, Burgess are all in these as well. St. Paul's kind of clipping the edge of it right there. Litchfield Beach is certainly one of those as well. Big vacation destination. A lot of folks on vacation in these spots this time of year. And this has been the case. We've seen the beaches really get hit the hardest here over the past several hours because of these cells moving onshore. Excuse me. So that is going to be the area that we're watching right now. Now, you're probably looking at the radar and seeing this line coming through Mount Pleasant right now. That is just heavy rain. I am not even seeing any lightning with it, but it is very heavy rain right across. It looks like it's kind of crossing the Ravenel Bridge at this point over towards Mount Pleasant. You're going to see some drying out here in downtown Charleston shortly, that rain coming to an end. If you're on Johns Island, James Island, and the rain is tapering off, you're good. You're done. We are pretty much done with the rain here from Elsa. I wouldn't head out quite yet. There's a lot of damage reports. We'll talk to Leah about that in a few minutes, and Trooper Bob as well. Somerville, you're drying out. St. George, you're drying out as well. All of those beaches south of Charleston at this point. Folly Beach still getting that last bit of heavy rain right there at Morris Island. IOP, right along Colobin Boulevard, 17 up to 41 into Daniel Island. Some heavy rain still falling there, but coming to an end here very soon. Ondaw, you're going to get one last round of heavy rain here soon. Jamestown, it's coming down for you. Trio as well. McClellanville, you're going to get one more line of heavy rain, but it is not a severe producing line. It's this line, all these cells coming in off the water. These are the ones that are producing those tornadoes. So that's what we've seen here all morning, overnight, last night. Those are the areas that are producing the tornadoes. So it's that onshore flow, all that moisture coming in off the Atlantic. What was a Gulf storm, it has now become something the Atlantic is picking up on that moisture, swinging it onshore. The center of Elsa is moving through the state right now. It's about 90 miles from Charleston. So it is moving into the state. It'll be moving through the Midlands during the day today. But the backside of this thing's got nothing. All of the rain is on the northeast side, and that's been the case from the get-go. It's the case with a lot of storms. All of that moisture on the northeast side, just from where it's drawing moisture from. So heavy rain still falling right along 17 in North Mount Pleasant now. Looks like you are drying out downtown. Good news for downtown Charleston. The rain is done. There's certainly some flooded roadways out there. We've got high tide in about 2 hours. So fortunately, this did not fall right at high tide, but we do have high tide coming up in about 2 hours. And some lasting impacts, even after this moves out, we'll have some lasting impacts out there. So still going to see some breezy conditions, high surf, 4 to 6 feet, and a high risk of rip currents. So if you're thinking about surfing, you may want to double think that, because that risk of rip currents is going to be very high here during the day today. So let's take a look at that warning once again. It is for portions of Georgetown and Horry County. It includes those beaches, those nice beaches, Pawleys Island, Litchfield Beach, Garden City. Moving up perhaps towards Myrtle Beach. You're not in the warning right now, but you may get in the warning here soon. So eastern Georgetown County, south central Horry County, you do have this tornado warning in effect until 6 a.m. this morning. We are seeing this on the radar. It is not confirmed on the ground, but radar indicated rotation, and it's a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, certainly. It's moving north at 50 miles per hour. It is moving along very quickly. The storm will be really, it should be over Litchfield Beach right now. So I'm going to pull up the radar here because Litchfield Beach could be getting it right now. So it's this one particular cell right here that we're watching. I'm going to see if there's any rotation with it. It's going to be hard to tell at this point, but there could be some rotation there with that one particular cell moving over Litchfield Beach right now. If you are in Litchfield Beach and you have not taken cover, do so immediately. And it's going to be moving on after that. From there, we're talking Murrells Inlet, Garden City, Burgess, 545. So in about 10 minutes, those areas need to take cover, find a safe spot to go, as there could be a tornado touching down in about 10 minutes in those areas. After that, it moves on to Surfside Beach at about 5:50 this morning. So that's another area that is going to be under that threat, that's under that tornado warning right now. I'm going to zoom up there so you can see Murrells Inlet, Garden City, moving to the north towards Horry County, Socastee around 5:55 this morning. These are long lasting. We've seen them kind of hold on. A lot of times we see tornado warnings that pop up for 10, 15 minutes at a time, but these have been popping up for half an hour, 45 minutes at a time. So while it doesn't look that impressive right now, perhaps to the casual eye on the radar, it is. It's just not producing as heavy the rain as some of this line back to our west. Places like Jamestown down into North Mount Pleasant, Ondaw, getting into that last round of heavy rain right now. Things are clearing out in the city. Mount Pleasant, closer to the Ravenel, starting to clear out a little bit more. Still have some heavy rain along the beaches. Isle of Palms certainly may have been impacted by a tornado earlier this morning from a cell that moved on shore there and moved north into Berkeley County. So we've just had numerous cells popping up this morning, bringing that threat of tornadoes. And it happens with tropical storms. We get these weak tornadoes that pop up.
There is some standing water around across town, so we have a pump that's running in that area to help to remove that water as quickly as we can. But there's still some standing water in the area.
And, you know, Charleston is no stranger to flooding, but what's the city's response for Elsa right now? You know, we've been tracking this all week. We knew it was coming. Can you kind of talk about the things you put in place to keep people safe?
Absolutely. It's been an all-hands-on-deck effort across all city disciplines over the last 24 hours. Very long night, as you might imagine. We had a number of road closures. In the neighborhood of, I believe, about 20 of those. One of them was a tree that fell on Highway 61, Ashley River Road and High Tide Drive. And just in the last 20 minutes, our public service folks have removed that tree, and that lane has been cleared. We've had a number of issues with traffic signals around town that are also being addressed by traffic and transportation. Of course, we know about the standing water, and we hear this every time, whether it's a named storm or not. We can have that. So, our stormwater folks have prepared with some portable pumps, dewatering pumps that have been stationed across the city to address some of that high water, and those are operating this morning already. And then, of course, you know, yesterday in preparation for this, it was the drain cleanings and you know, urging folks to be prepared and be cautious with that standing water and not drive through it. So it's been a busy 24 hours.
I'll bet. And just I'm seeing an update on your website right now. There's 17 road closures, emergency related. So that's down from 20. So that's progress. I'd assume. What would you credit that kind of progress to? The previous, like the work heading into this?
Yeah, well, that would be part of it, sure. You know, we'll take stormwater and our public service folks, and we'll have them out there with their equipment cleaning out drains and street sweeping and all those sorts of things. And that all plays into it. I think everybody really has to do their part here and keep those drains clean. To the degree that we're successful in that, we'll be able to move the water a lot faster, and you're seeing some of the benefits of that already. So it'll only get better from here. But it will take a little bit of time. There were some heavy rain bands early this morning, so
yeah,
but we're heading the right direction.
We're showing some pictures right now of some of the flooding around town. I mean, of course, a lot of people are used to this, but there are always new people coming to the Charleston area who are probably looking at this like, wow. What is your advice to people if they've never experienced this type of flooding in Charleston?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know how much I appreciate that question. You know, the Charleston's a popular place. People are either visiting or moving here to the area, and a lot of folks have never experienced a tropical system or even a heavy downpour here in Charleston. And the folks that have lived here are familiar with what roads, you know, typically flood, but those that are brand new are not. So we want to urge people to stay off roadways, you know, in these conditions. We want to tell them that, you know, if they see standing water, find another route, allow themselves a little more time, and don't risk it. You know, the number one killer with these tropical systems is water. We all fixate on that wind element, you know, but water really is the true danger here, and we want folks to be aware of that.
Yeah, what a word. Water is beautiful in the Lowcountry, but it can also be dangerous in situations like this. Shannon, is there anything else you'd like to add before we let you go?
You know, I tell you, we've been in close contact with the National Weather Service over the last several days on this thing, and what a fantastic job they continue to do for the city of Charleston time after time, keeping us aware so that we can put our plans in place and have the right mix of departments in to help prepare the city. So a special shout out to them this morning.
All right. Well, we thank you so much for being proactive so that a lot of reactive activity is not the highest priority today. So we thank you for that, for keeping people safe. And you heard the word from City of Charleston, stay off the road if you don't have to. There's flooding out there and they're trying to get it all cleaned up so that we can move forward past today. Shannon, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, all morning we're tracking Elsa. This video shows damage in Port Royal. This was overnight after a tornado warning was issued. You can see a tree was down. There's flooding. Look at that tree in front of somebody's home. Not a pretty sight to see as the sun comes up this morning. So we also tracked those tornado warnings. This was from Beaufort County all the way to Charleston County. And right now, Trooper Bob has been tracking the road conditions, giving us that latest update on his Twitter account that tree in the middle of the road by Highway 61 coming out of Somerville is now clear. Bob, is that right?
Yeah, Lee, that's clear. It cleared up about 6:24 this morning. About 10 minutes ago, I sent another tweet out showing a picture of the tree that actually broke in half there. Take a look at this. Now, I just pulled into this is actually Car Care Car Wash, 2436 Highway 61. Look how it's flooded. This is the third business I've seen in this area. The other two were on the other side, opposite sides of the road. I've got pictures of their parking lots. But the reason you don't go driving through the water is you don't know how deep this water is. I can't tell you if it's a foot, or it's 2 foot, or 3 feet. That's why I'm not going any farther than this. But I wanted to show you, this is the importance of, especially when you see barricades out on the roadways. You can see them, especially downtown. You know, you see a lot of flooding down there. When law enforcement puts a barricade up, there's a reason for it. You can't tell if the roadway underneath got washed out, how deep that water is. And just like the gentleman said earlier, they're clearing stalled vehicles out. The last time we had some rain flooding there, I saw 3 vehicles went around the police car, and all 3 of them stalled, and they had to go check on them. So please do not go down a flooded roadway. And again, just looking at this road right now, this parking lot, you can't tell how deep this water is. That's why it's so important, Leah.
So important. Thank you for that perspective. If you could do us all the favor and snap a picture of that so we can get that online as well. Yeah, that's a very good message. Don't think you're bold enough and able to drive through that. You cannot tell how deep it is. If Trooper Bob isn't even going, that says a lot. All right, we'll check back in with you in a little while, Bob. All right, right now we're tracking power outages as well throughout the area. These numbers, they've been going up all morning, even in the last few minutes. Here's the latest. Dominion says that there are about 24,000 customers now currently without power. Out of the almost 775,000 customers, most of the outages are from Beaufort and Charleston counties. There are also outages in Richland and Jasper counties. We're going to update these numbers throughout the morning. Your current time is 6:37. So that's the most latest update on power outages. And just in, Berkeley Electric says outages numbers are going down for them. That's good news. The co-op is only reporting 1,600 right now. That's about half as many as there were an hour ago. All right, it was nasty night all around and earlier this morning. This is video from Dorchester County and right outside of our station in Mount Pleasant. Heavy downpour. Overnight, each time a tornado warning was issued, our Storm Tracker weather app sent out a notification to keep people safe. This is especially important during times like this because if you're sleeping, it can alert you of any danger. So go to your app store right now as you're watching this on television and download the ABC News 4 Storm Tracker. Then download the app and turn on the notifications so that you can continue to stay in the know. Speaking of in the know, let's send it over to Emily Gracie.
All right, well, I'm here finally for some good news for the first time here all morning. We do have some better news as far as the system moving out. Still tornado watches in effect for areas to our north. It no longer includes Charleston, but Georgetown, Williamsburg, Horry County under those tornado watches. And those are also areas that are under some flood advisories right now. Florence, Williamsburg County flood advisory until 7 a.m. this morning. They called it an aerial flood advisory. These are spots that got really heavy rain, the Kings Tree area and then Georgetown up to Myrtle Beach, that area that was warned with a tornado warning under an aerial flood advisory as well. Still getting some heavy rain there right now. That's why they're under an active advisory. And then here in Charleston, moving out, heavy rain though still falling there. As you can see in the McClellanville area, some lightning as well. So stay inside until you hear that rain come to an end. And even then, still going to be some issues issues out there, some storm damage to clean up here today. And then also as we go through really the next couple of days, we're going to see some better conditions coming in, more summer-like conditions coming in. But Elsa now moving into the center part of the state, that center of Elsa moving through the central portion of South Carolina. All of that rain with it moving out of Charleston. I'll have a look at what's to come after the storm and a few of those storm reports that are rapidly coming in this morning. That's coming up.
Hey, Colin, can you hear me? I know one way to get there.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, where is he? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. All right.
Hey, welcome back. Right now, Caroline Bell Chunez joins us live from Colonial Lake. Caroline, you've been hipping and hopping. That sounds corny, but you've been going all around the Lowcountry right now. What's the latest right there? Is it the same as it was downtown?
That's right, Leah. Yes, we've been slowly snaking our way around the peninsula this morning. We started at the Charleston City Market, where floodwaters have receded there, and now we are here at Colonial Lake at Ashley Avenue, and we stumbled upon these crews here that are actually pumping water from the street into Colonial Lake. I spoke to one of the crew members out here. He says there is about 2 to 4 inches of standing water out here on Ashley Avenue, and so it was very important for them to, this is one of the low-lying points on the peninsula. He said it was very important that they were able to come out here quickly and pump all of that water out, and more so because it's morning now. People are going to start getting out and about and getting in their cars. So, of course, they want to get as much water out of the roadway as they can. So that's exactly what they're doing, and taking the water from the road and pumping it into Colonial Lake. But that crew member did tell me that there are some other flooded areas here on the peninsula. We're going to go check out Cannon Park here shortly and check that out for you, and we'll bring you that coverage. But for now, let's go head out to Trooper Bob. He's out on the roadways. Bob, how's it looking out there?
Hey, Caroline. Yeah, I'm off Highway 61, Ashley River Road. Here's a traffic that's driving by me here. As you can see, the roadway is open. At 624, they opened up that roadway that had a tree across it right at High Tide Drive. But right now, I'm in front of this business. This is Car Care Car Wash. This is their parking lot, part of their parking lot. As you can see, it's just flooded. This is the second parking lot that I've seen. The other businesses across the street, their parking lot's flooded also. I took a picture of that. I'm going to post it here to social media. This is why it's so important why not to drive through flooded waters. As you can see, just by looking at this area, you can't tell how deep that water is. Can't tell if the roadway underneath got washed out. That's why you don't want to drive through anything that's flooded that you can't tell how deep it is. Especially if you see a barricade, there's a reason why it's up. Law enforcement will remove the barricade once it's safe to go through there. But that's why it's so important to adhere to those messages of turn around, don't drown.
Yeah, it may sound corny and cliche, but it's true. All right, stay with us. It is 6:45, and we'll be right back.
Now on Good Morning Charleston, we're working for you with a storm tracker update.
All right, it was a rough night, but Elsa is moving out. The latest on Elsa, still a tropical storm. We didn't know exactly if it was going to be a strong tropical depression or a weak tropical storm as it moved through the state. And as we pointed out, it didn't matter. The impacts were the same, and still a tropical storm. Barely winds are 40 miles per hour. This is from 5 a.m. this morning, so it's still inland. It's away from Charleston, but we've certainly felt those impacts here in Charleston, perhaps even more so than where that center is. We've had the winds, we've had the severe weather. The tornado watch has now been lifted for the Charleston area. It remains for Williamsburg and Georgetown County. So to our north, still have that threat. Still getting a little bit of rain right on the edge of Charleston County there, but really it's coming to an end, and we're now starting to see these damage reports come in. Take a look. These are all the wind reports, are those purple ones. We've had tropical storm force winds pretty widespread along the coastline, and some even inland, even at the airport. And then numerous reports of heavy rain. We are seeing reports now coming in, actual reports since midnight of more than 4 inches. So it has been quite a bit of rain in a short period of time. All of this moving off to the north. Take a look now. Georgetown, McClellanville still seeing a few showers. No longer worried about the threat of tornadoes in the Charleston area. In fact, the rain is coming to an end, and now it's a matter of that water coming down. There's going to be some residual impacts in the way of flooding. We could be looking at river flooding for days or even weeks to come. So after Elsa, we are in for some breezy conditions this afternoon. Those winds are going to take a little while to come down. So still a breeze out there. High surf. There's a high surf advisory, 4 to 6 foot waves out there. High risk of rip currents as well. So don't go in the water yet. We do have some good beach weather though in that extended forecast, and I'm going to have a look at what to expect the weekend and into next week coming up in the 7-day at the end of the show. Leah.
All right, thanks, Em. And before Elsa swept into the Lowcountry, the storm turned deadly in Florida. It toppled a tree in Jacksonville, which landed on 2 cars, killing a person. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
Overnight, Elsa turning deadly in Florida. Police say a falling tree killed a driver as heavy rain and wind hit the city.
This poor gentleman was just driving, probably heading home, and a tree came down and hit his car.
Another large tree slamming into an apartment building. This man was looking out his window when the winds picked up.
All of a sudden, I see my chairs pick up and start going to the right. And then all of a sudden, they went to the left about 5 seconds later. And then everything started going to the left. And the next thing I knew, the tree came down. I heard a train, which they say you always hear a train. I heard the train.
Hours later, Elsa producing another tornado in southeast Georgia, this one touching down at a campground on a naval base.
It is utter chaos over here right now.
The winds flipping over and tearing apart large RVs.
Pickup trucks flipped over, debris everywhere, trailers knocked over.
At least 10 people from the campsite were taken to the hospital. According to the Navy, there appears to be damage to buildings on the base, but a spokesperson confirms there's no damage to the submarines stored at the base. Meanwhile, the cleanup is already underway along Florida's west coast, where Elsa made landfall Wednesday, bringing powerful storm surge and inundating coastal roads. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
And the latest update from our weather team, we are all clear. Right now, Trooper Bob is on the roads. He's been out there since before the sun came up. Bob, where are you now and what's the latest?
Yeah, I'm still at this business here off Ashley River Road. Take a look at this. This parking lot is flooded. This is the second business I've seen here. As far as the roadways are concerned, Carlton County, you got a crash on Green Pond Highway and Catawba Hill Road. Traffic light defect on Main Road if you're headed out to Kiowa Island. That's right near Chisholm Road. And also another tree down in the roadway in Carlton County, Cottageville Highway at Highway 17. This area took a soaking here over the last couple hours, so please be careful out there. If you see a tree down, power lines down, please dial star HP or 911 to report it. I'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Bob. And right now we're tracking power outages as well through the area. Here's the latest. They've been going up all morning, finally going down. So that's progress. Dominion says right now there's about 24,000 customers currently without power out of almost 775,000 customers. Most of the outages are from Beaufort and Charleston counties. There's also outages in Richland and Jasper counties. We're going to update you throughout the morning on air for the next 7 minutes, but then we're going to go online and have these updates. Let's head over to what's going on with Berkeley Electric. They say that the outage numbers are going down for them as well. The co-op is only reporting 1,600. That's about half as many as there were about an hour ago. Now, before this storm made its way here, officials say 10 people were hurt after a tornado touched down in Georgia. It touched down near Naval Submarine Base Kings Bay. That's north of Jacksonville, Florida. Those 10 people were taken from an RV park to the hospital. All of them are expected to recover. All right, right now, Caroline Balchunas joins us from another spot downtown near the medical district where a lot of people are going to be heading out to get to work. Caroline, you say there's a lot of water, standing water?
Yeah, that's right, Leah. We just got down here. We're here on Rutledge Avenue and Bennett Street, where there's obvious standing water right here at Cannon Park. That's right on the edge of where Calhoun Street is, right before MUSC, the medical district area. And this is an area that is constantly flooding. Over the years, we've seen images and video of doctors, nurses wading through the waters just to get to work. Doesn't look like it'll be that dramatic here today, but at least right now, there is several inches of standing water here along the roadway. Of course, Rutledge right here where Calhoun meets Rutledge, it is all barricaded off for safety, so cars are not really getting through. But looks like things are slowly drying out, and we're still hitting up different spots around the peninsula. So we're gonna go check out some other areas and see how the floodwaters are there. But reporting live downtown, I'm Caroline Balchunas. I'll send it back to you, Leah.
Caroline, thanks. And that's a good sign. We can still see the painting on the street, indicating it's not that deep, so that's good. Fingers crossed stays that way. All right, let's go to Amy. Actually, sorry, we're going to Emily.
Thanks, Leah. I do want to show you this camera because while the rain is gone, this camera's been shaking around quite a bit. So it's no longer raining, but it has been quite gusty. This is over downtown. Our temperatures are warm in the mid-70s. The clouds are hanging on. The winds are going to hang on during the day today. They're sustained right now at the airport at 16 miles per hour, but closer to the coastline, they could be stronger than that. We've had gusty winds out there, certainly up to tropical storm force gusts over the past several hours. But today we're going to dry out slowly. By tomorrow, we're going to see back to normal, a summer-like Charleston weather, low 90s, a chance of some afternoon or evening thunderstorms. Going into the weekend, more of the same, just some afternoon storm chances. A little bit drier early next week, but also warm and humid. Highs will be in the low 90s. So back to business as usual, Leah. And I think we can take a deep breath. No more warnings in sight here in Charleston, but it's going to take a while for that water to come down.
Woosah. Just in time for the weekend. Emily, thank you for getting us all through this morning, and thank you all for tuning in to Good Morning Charleston. Go online and stay up to date. Have a good day.
But out of the Charleston area. Now those northern areas are also under flood advisories this morning where they have been getting that heavy rain. So still dealing with that in portions of Georgetown and Horry County as that heavy rain is falling, but notice it is moving out of McClellanville right now, so no longer dealing with that rain. There could be a few lingering showers, but for the most part, we are done with Elsa. Some lingering impacts, though, to be felt during the day today and perhaps the coming days. River flooding always kind of a long-term problem after these storms. We've gotten several inches of rain. Breeze continues today, so we're not going to see much sunshine. We will hold on to that cloud cover. We could even see a brief shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, but no longer dealing with those direct impacts from Elsa. As the storm moves away, that wind is going to take a while to settle down. So we could be talking 20-mile-per-hour winds here for a few more hours. And certainly with a very saturated ground out there, there could be ongoing damage reports coming in. So we're going to watch for that. In the meantime, I'll have a look at that extended forecast for the weekend coming up in just a few.
All right, Emily, thanks. And right now we're tracking power outages throughout the area. Dominion says more than 21,000 customers are currently without power. Out of almost 775,000 customers, most of the outages are from Beaufort and Colton County, both with almost 4,000 homes without power. There are also outages in Dorchester and Jasper counties. We're going to update these numbers throughout the morning. They've been drastically improving, so that's good news. Berkeley Electric reported more than 3,000 outages in Berkeley and Charleston counties. You can see this is about 10% of its total customer base. All right, it was a nasty night all around and early morning. The Lowcountry showing video from Dorchester County and right outside of our station here in Mount Pleasant. And Folly Beach is one of several areas in the Lowcountry feeling the sting of Tropical Storm Elsa. That's where Amy Russo is right now. Amy, you told us earlier the wind is picking up.
Yeah, hey, good morning, Leah. So as you can see, the wind is really blowing us right now. I mean, it was even hard to get out of our units this morning. Literally could not open the door because of the wind. And you can see it in my hair. My hat keeps flying off. If you want to take a look, you can see the waves as well. They're just really crashing. Massive waves right now. I mean, you guys, it's just absolutely not safe to be out here at all. I mean, we've only seen this one man on the beach right now, and it seems that he is leaving. Oh, my hat just is starting to fly off, you guys. Like I said, it's really windy out here. Definitely not safe to be out on the beach. I mean, definitely not in the ocean at all. As Emily was saying earlier, rip currents, terrible right now. Oh my goodness, my hat just won't stop flying off right now, but we're going to go ahead and send it to Caroline Bouchunas, who she's over in downtown Caroline. I hope it's a little less windy out there.
Amy, it is actually, I have not felt any wind in several minutes. Oh, nope. Here a gust comes right now, but certainly not what we're seeing out there. But this is what we are seeing down here. We're here around Cannon Park, where you can see standing water. This is on the edge of where Calhoun Street is, around the medical district, an area that typically floods. Just in the last 15 minutes or so, we have seen those waters slowly start to recede. So the conditions are improving, but we already did see one person coming from the hospital across the street, dressed in scrubs, wading through the water. The water was up to about his ankles, but seems like the waters are getting a lot better, but a lot of these roads are still blocked off. We're here at Rutledge and Burnett Street. As you can see, a barricade is here, and we just want to remind people, if you are out and about, please heed those barricades. Do not go around them. It's really not safe. It's hard to see exactly how deep the water is, but it seems like conditions should be improving. We're getting on and off rain every couple of minutes, but that's a look here, and we're gonna take a ride around the peninsula and check out some other spots for you, and we'll have a live look on that coming up. Sending it back to you.
Caroline, Amy, thank you both. And before the storm made its way here, officials say 10 people were hurt after a tornado did touch down in Georgia. It touched down near Naval Submarine Base, Kings Bay. That's north of Jacksonville, Florida. Those 10 people were taken from an RV park to the hospital. All of them, we're told, are expected to recover. All right, Lowcountry school districts have delayed today's classes. Here's a current rundown. Charleston County School District is operating on a 2-hour delay. This applies to summer enrichment programs, along with CCSD offices and staff. School buses will run 2 hours later than normal. Summer feeding programs will start at 11:30. BCSD is going to operate on a 2-hour delay. Summer programs and daycare programs will start at 10. Summer feeding sites will operate from 12 to 2. And DD2 will be on a 2-hour delay. Lunch service will be provided, but again, no breakfast. And let's talk about these power outages again and get another update if there is a newest one. They've been increasing all morning. They're finally going down. Here's one from Dominion. 20,000 now customers are without power. And out of 775,000 customers, most of those outages are from Beaufort and Charleston counties. There's also outages in Richland and Jasper County. We're going to continue to stay on this. All right, traffic, a big deal today. Let's hope everything stays calm on the roads. We've been telling people if you don't have to travel today, especially this morning, this will be the day to kind of stay at home. We don't have drive times just yet, but here's a look at 526 up mile marker 27. Not a lot of people out on the roads. We like it. Our 2 weeks have passed since a Florida condo collapsed. The latest updates on the search for survivors. And if you want to travel abroad, why you should get your passports in order as soon as possible.
And here's the latest on Elsa, still a tropical storm. It is